In this task, you'll learn how to accurately digitize the parcels off of the georeferenced image into the parcel shapefile you created in Task 1. One thing I've already done is gone into my layer properties to the Style tab and set the layer transparency at 50% with this slider so that once I create these features, I'll be able to see through them to the image below. To start editing, I'll right-click on the parcels layer and choose Toggle Editing. Notice that a small pencil appears in the table of contents next to the layer, indicating this layer is in edit mode. Only one layer can be edited at a time. I'll also want to make sure that my digitizing toolbar is enabled. If I don't see this, I can right-click up here, get my context menu, and just make sure that digitizing is checked. Polygons are constructed of a series of nodes which define their shape. To start my first feature, I'm going to zoom in so that I can get an accurate view of the polygon I want to digitize. I'll start with this one labeled O-1. And off the digitizing toolbar, I'll choose the Add Feature tool, and I'll begin left-clicking, placing a node each time I left-click. And I'll need more nodes in curves, fewer nodes in straight sections. And as I approach the end of my polygon, I will left-click on the last vertex and then right-click to finish the polygon. I'll be prompted to enter values for the attributes that my layer has. It has an ID attribute and a zone code attribute. The ID will be a sequential number, so the first one I can enter a number 1. And for the zone code, I'll enter 0-1 and click OK. Notice that I misclicked one of these vertices down here. Fortunately, that's something that can be fixed. If I click the node tool on the digitizing toolbar, I can click on the boundary of my polygon, get the nodes exposed, and I can drag this node to a better position. So you can adjust the boundary of your polygons if need be. Let me show you some of the other features. I'll just quickly digitize a new feature here that won't correspond to any of the parcels. Right-click to finish it. I'll just enter some attributes to create my parcel. If this is one that was a mistake and I want to remove, I can simply select that polygon and click the delete tool to remove that polygon. So you can modify your polygons after the fact, and you can even delete them if you need to. Adding a single isolated polygon is pretty straightforward. I'm going to click the zoom to last extent to zoom back out, and let's focus on this situation right here. Here we have zoning polygon SU1, which forms a ring around O-1. First, I'll digitize the outer boundary of SU1 the same way I digitized the first parcel. I'll use the Add Feature tool, get to the last point, right-click to finish, and enter my attributes. This will be ID2, and the zoning code is SU-1. To finish SU1, I'll use a tool on the Advanced Editing toolbar. To turn that toolbar on, I'm going to right-click and choose Advanced Editing. The new toolbar has been placed right here. And one note about toolbars, you can always grab the stippled left-hand end of a toolbar and move them around and dock them anywhere you'd like on the QGIS interface. I'm going to use the Add Ring tool to finish SU1. I'll simply left-click around the perimeter of parcel O1, get to my last vertex, right-click, and it carves out a hole within the SU1, creating the ring for SU1. Now I need to work on parcel O-1. Next, I'll set the snapping environment. I'll go to Settings, Snapping Options to open the Snapping Options window. This is a window that lets me configure what layers I can snap to while editing and lets me see the snapping tolerance. The mode lets me control what portions of a feature are being snapped to. To vertex will snap to vertices, to segment will snap to any part of another layer's edge, and to vertex and segment will snap to both features. I will set this to to vertex. The tolerance determines how close my cursor needs to be to another layer before it snaps to it. It can be set in map units or pixels. I'll set this to 50 map units, and remember our map units are in feet because we're using state plane feet as our coordinate system. And I'm going to uncheck net cur because I don't want to snap to that feature. I only want to snap to parcels. And I'll click OK. To digitize O1, I'll use a tool that's part of the Digitizing Tools plugin. So first I need to go to Plugins and open the Plugin Manager. And this is a plugin that's not installed yet, so I'm on the Not Installed tab. It's called Digitizing Tools, so I can filter through the results by starting to type digitize, which shortens the list. And there's the Digitizing Tools plugin. I'll simply select it and choose Install Plugin. This will take a moment while the data is downloaded, and the plugin is installed successfully. So I'll click OK. Now if I go to the Installed tab and clear my filter, I'll see that Digitizing Tools is enabled and installed, so I can click Close. And the new toolbar has been added right here. I'm going to use the Fill Ring with New Feature Interactive tool. I'll click on this and then click on one of the vertices around the interior perimeter of SU1, and I'll be immediately prompted to enter the attributes for the new parcel. This will be parcel number 3, and the zone code is O-1. I'll click OK, and you'll see the new parcel appear. I can use the Identify tool to make sure this happened the way I expected it to. First I can click on the ring parcel of SU1 and see that that indeed is parcel 2 with the correct zone code, and then click on the interior O-1 and see that's parcel number 3, O-1. Finally, I'll demonstrate how to work with a shared boundary. Let's use the Pan tool and go over to this first polygon that we digitized, O-1. I'm going to go back into the snapping options, Settings, Snapping Options, and I'm going to enable Avoid Intersections and click OK. This enables topological editing. When digitizing a shared boundary with this option checked, you can begin with one of the vertices at one end of the shared boundary, then continue digitizing the boundary of the new polygon and end at a vertex at the other end of the shared boundary. That shared boundary will then be created automatically, eliminating any digitizing errors. So now I'm going to use my Add Feature tool on the digitizing toolbar. You can see that snapping is enabled. When I get close to that vertex, a red cross appears. I will start at this end of the shared boundary and start left clicking to create the outer boundary of R-1. Move around to the other end of the shared boundary, left click, and then right click to end. This will be parcel number 4 with a zone code of R-1. I'll click OK, and again use the Identify tool to show that the shared boundary was created automatically. Once you've completed digitizing all the parcels, you will right click on the layer and choose Toggle Editing and save your changes. In the next task, you'll learn how to modify existing shapefiles.